been arrested?
There's been charges filed against a gentleman by the name of Eddie Washington.
Eddie Washington, 59. Eddie Jack Washington, age 59, been arrested, Tampa, Florida, on a murder charge, or 3 murder charges, or what?
There are three separate charges, 3 separate victims.
What's the specific allegation that's in the warrant or in the whatever you have?
Mr. Washington is charged with 3 counts of homicide in relation to the 3 victims from 1974.
Those 3 victims were Guy Lester Phillips, age 20, his wife, 19-year-old Jane Phillips, and 27-year-old Bill Ray Cobb. Okay, I know you're going to be cryptic because the investigation's ongoing, but 38 years later, fill me in as much as you can.
Well, the case has been an open case basically for that entire period of time. There have been different officers, different prosecutors who took a look at it over the years. But most recently, within the last few months, we had some additional information that led the police, through the cooperation with a lot of agencies, to be able to make the arrest.
How could you possibly get additional information almost 4 decades later?
Well, again, just some good investigative work by the police officers involved in the case.
Pat, a case like this, what would cause your office, what would cause police, what would cause lead investigators to stick with it or revisit it? I mean, rather than, again, I mean, that's more than a generation ago.
Well, it's certainly been a case that has been, known in this county for a very, very long time. People have talked about it for years. People talked about it when I was in high school. But the reality of it is that we still have family members of the victims that are alive. We have 3 people who were killed, and they deserve justice.
What was the reaction of the family members when someone told them there'd been an arrest?
I have not spoken with the family directly. That was left up to the police officer or one of the police officers involved in the case to do. So I really can't comment specifically what the reaction was, but of course the police was very sensitive to wanting to have the family to know about it.
Will you tell me any more about how police actually got onto the suspect, Eddie Washington?
Well, there was an extensive investigation that was ongoing back at the time of the murders. Lots and lots of agencies were involved then. Lots and lots of witnesses were interviewed. And subsequent to that, there have been other interviews. People have been called back in. And quite frankly, again, just because of some good investigative work, some information came forward to the police officers. It was followed up on. And as I said, we've had cooperation from the state police have worked on this. Of course, the city police of Fairmont. We've had help with the federal government from the U.S. Marshals. We've had police agencies in other states that have helped us gather evidence. So it's been a cooperative effort throughout.
Pat Wilson's a prosecutor in Marion County on this stunning arrest in this old case. Pat, I'm going to talk to John Veazey in a moment, the longtime editor of the Fairmont Times, who remembers this case pretty clearly. John seems to remember that the news reports at the time were that this was probably some sort of drug-related killing in the early days of drugs, if you will, of widespread drugs, because it was 1974. Was this a drug case?
Hoppy, unfortunately, I can't really comment on motive at this point because it is an ongoing investigation.
What are you going to do with Washington?
He's in custody right now in Florida. Of course, there'll be an extradition choice he'll have to make. He has the option to waive extradition back to West Virginia, or he can contest that. If he waives it, then he'll very soon future will be returned to West Virginia. If he contests the extradition, then that'll draw that process out to some degree.
Do you expect other arrests?
I am anticipatory that there may be at least one other charge in this case.
So you believe at least one other person will be arrested in connection with this?
At this point, the investigation's ongoing, and I believe that it's likely there may be another charge, yes.
Pat Wilson, prosecutor in Marion County. Pat, we'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Good police work there.
Well, the police did an excellent job, absolutely.